Okay, we're back. Here's our timer, and I'm gonna set up my gold kind of right here. Okay, we're gonna make 4 micron tips. We use program 2 on the Sutter pipette puller. Today's date, we're gonna do normal dipping, and I'm the one who's gonna make them, and Keziah is the one who glues them. So here is a side view of the major parts of the dipping clipping apparatus. This is the camera right here. This is the cutter. This is the clamp that holds the tip. You can see them, especially my gloves there. This is a little wire that holds it in. A little bit farther down here, this is the holder for the gold or polylysine. Right parallel with the camera, so here's the camera. Right below the camera is a knob that adjusts the camera in and out so we can focus. And likewise, here's the cutter, and right down from the cutter is a similar looking knob. That one moves the cutter in and out for when we get ready to cut. So this is a glued tip. This is point down. I'm going to clip it into the mount, kind of push it down so it's almost flush, just under flush from the top. We can now see our tip right here in the camera on the Image 32 in our LabVIEW program. So I'm going to focus that, and again, the focus knob is the one that's farther back right here, that's parallel to the camera, which is right here. So camera, focus knob for the camera. Somebody focusing it there as I'm looking here. Alright, it's fairly good focus. This little mark right here is 6 microns. It says right there, 6 microns. So I'm going to pull this up to get to the narrower part of the tip. And the way I do that is right here on my Y sample. Plus means up. When I'm moving in big steps, I like going in steps of 600. Let me dial that in. This is a button to make it go. Plus means up. So as I hit that, we're going to see this get a little bit smaller. And for the purposes of this first part, I want to kind of roughly have it about the size of that little green slice right there. And that's about where I want it. So now I'm going to dip. And take my polylysine and place it into that front left corner right there. See, I can't move my this arm right here up and down because the camera's in the way. So I'm going to have to take the camera out of the way. I go up here to the top and I go camera in, out. I want it out. And now the camera is not in the way. So for the purposes of the LabVIEW program and a safety mechanism, you have to stop this, and the way you stop it is right there. I'm going to bring up the dipping program, which is right here. Here are the settings for the dipping program. The only thing we're going to move around is the number of dips. For the polylysine, we're going to dip 3 times, so it's ready to go. And when I hit this button right here, it's going to turn to black, and my arm's going to go up and down 3 times. You can hear it. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to change out this polylysine, and in its place I'm going to put my gold. Now I'm going to change the gold to 10 dips. So we just found out that's what works for us. So I'm going to go in here and physically change this. And I'm going to hit that button again. And when I hit that button, my arm's going to go up and down again right there. It's going to go 10 times. So as this program gets to 10 dips, it's going to automatically turn off, which it just did. My I'm going to hit run to get the Hamilton control to turn on again. And now I'm going to hit camera in, out, and it's going to come in. And as my camera comes in, I'm going to see my tip back here on the screen. So I'm going to hit camera in, and we're going to see that camera come in. And once the camera comes in, there again is my tip. Alright, now it has been dipped, and all we need to do is clip it, and this tip is ready to go. The way we do that is we're going to bring the clipper in, and in order to do that, I'm going to pull my tip up and out of the way to make sure it doesn't break when I don't want it to. So I usually hit 600 twice, and there we go. And now I'm going to bring the cutter in by clicking right here. When I click right there, you're going to see that blue diamond thing come in. And there it comes in. We also see that this thing up here, this black, that's our cutter. There's our tip. And now I care about what the I care very much about what the diameter of this tip is. And this little green dot is going to measure it. So there's two ways I can do that. I can bring the tip over to the dot, or the dot over the tip. I prefer to bring the tip over the dot. And to do that, there's a little knob right there that will move my tip over to the dot. And there it is, it's moved. I'm now going to click on this magnifying thing, and as I do that, I usually do it about 5 times. And I'm going to switch it over to the arrow and pull my measuring device over here. I'm now going to focus again. Focus is near the camera, so it's this one up here. Here's the camera, here's the focus for the camera. Bring this into focus. So I know where my edges are. I just kind of measure it by the halos. Try and get rid of all the halos. The camera only takes a picture every once in a while, like every few, let's say, milliseconds. So it's not constant. If I move my focus too fast, it's going to go right through what I want. So I'm actually moving my focus really slowly. I'm going to move my green bar into the light a little bit better. Okay. So that's pretty close. I'm not going to zoom to fit, which is going to pull me back out. That's about 4 microns. No, that's 6 microns, sorry. I actually want to make 4 micron tips, so I'm going to go in here. I'm actually going to do it this way. I'm going to pull this until it's about 4. Actually goes to 4.16. And again, this is a little bit too big still. I'm trying to cut it at 4, so I'm going to pull it up a little bit. So I'm going to change this to green, so it's going to go up. And I'm going to move it in steps of like 50. And as I press this button, specify Y, we're going to watch this go up. It goes out of focus a little bit, so I'm going to reach over and focus it. some more. That's about on the money. So I'm gonna left or right button it to zoom to fit. And now I'm going to bring the edge of the blade into focus, and the way I do that is this forward knob up here. Here again is the cutter. So this is the knob that's near the cutter. I'm going to be moving it in the clockwise, I'm going to be moving this in the counterclockwise direction, so counterclockwise. And as I move it counterclockwise, the edge of the blade is going to come into focus. There it is, right about there. And once it comes into focus, I'm going to crank this one more time 180 degrees. So I'm going to go like crank 180 degrees. And as I do that, that's going to pull the tip into like an angle. This second shadow down here is a second edge, which is going to pull scissor like across the first, and that should break the tip. So you can see the halo right there, that's the tip. And the way I do that is back over here by this knob. There's this little switch right here. So as I hit the switch, that bottom black thing moves. That's the second part of the scissor. And sometimes I have to do it a couple times to make sure that tip. But that bottom dark shadow is all the way back. I know my tip has been, the scissor is kind of open again. Now I'm going to move the crank clockwise. So I'm moving it clockwise now. Clockwise. As I move it clockwise, it pulls back that blade, and we can see that that tip is broken. Not quite in our field of view, but to show you that it is, I'm gonna move our sample tip up. Again, it's in steps of 50, so I'll just use those steps of 50, and we'll see that there it is. There's the bottom of our tip. So again, I'm going to move it up 600 just to make sure I'm completely beyond the cutter. So I'm going to move that up out of the way. And now I'm going to move the cutter out. As I click that, move the cutter. As I click this, then move the cutter in out, you're going to see the cutter go away. And again, what just happened is, this is the cutter. It moved from near up here, back here. We can see that evidence right here. And as remember, we moved the tip up 600, so we'll change the direction to down. And as I click right here, you'll see it come back into play. There we go. We now have a clipped and dipped tip, and all I need to do is pull it out of its mounting right here. So what I usually do is I usually scoot it up a little bit until there's a little end showing. Once there's an end showing, I can move it sideways out of here very carefully to keep it away from everything and put it into its box. And that's it. All done.